To reintroduce myself, my name is Ann Wilkinson. I am a student at the University of Michigan, studying public policy and urban planning. And I have the privilege to work with Fennville this summer. So just to give a quick background on Fennville, for those of you who don't know, it's a small city on the western side of the state, about 1,800 in population, and actually all of those folks fit into 1 square mile is Fennville's official size, so very small. I forgot to say, my Fennville team, I just want to say shout out to them. Kieran O'Brien is the executive director of the Michigan Recycling Coalition, and my wonderful mentor, Katie Beamer, who's the Fennville's city administrator. She couldn't be here today, but she's online, so hi Katie. And then I'd also like to say thank you to Sam in the back corner, who is the deputy city administrator of Fennville. To jump into the motivation for this project, Fennville has a couple goals related to waste management. So just for some background, the city currently has a free market for waste services. This means that residents subscribe to local haulers on their own terms. And there's a couple downsides of this system. Not every hauler in the area offers recycling. So recycling is not universally accessible for residents and commercial entities like public schools. Additionally, Fennville's DDA is unhappy with how many individual trash carts and dumpsters there are downtown. And additionally, Fennville does have a really excellent, robust sustainability plan. The city in particular has a goal to reduce its annual amount of residential waste landfill by 20% by 2030. So yeah, with all of that in mind, Katie asked me to see what else is out there. She asked me to explore alternative models of municipal material management systems that better fit the needs and goals of Fennville's residents and businesses. And then step 2 would be to figure out how Fennville's municipal ordinances and regulations would need to adapt to accommodate those changes. Thinking about methodology, the first step is just to gather information on Fennville's status quo and what the available options are in Western Michigan. A big part of my research, besides just online research looking at websites, and Michigan legislation, was qualitative interviews with stakeholders, other peer municipal leaders and things, people like that, to learn more about various communities, waste hauler contracts, educational initiatives, pilot programs, downtown trash infrastructures, and solid waste ordinances. I will say this project would be impossible without the generosity of the people I got to talk with over this summer, and so I'm so grateful for their expertise and knowledge. Then, after gathering all of this information, I worked with my Fennville team and engaged with stakeholders to figure out what options would be both feasible and beneficial for Fennville's specific needs and goals. So, what did we come up with for Fennville? The first recommendation is a single hauler system. From my conversations, communities that have moved to single hauler systems are able to negotiate lower rates and offer comprehensive recycling services. There's an added benefit of reduced wear and tear on infrastructure like roads. Additionally, they have the opportunity to expand performance tracking capabilities, which will help with their long-term sustainability goals and just operational success. I was able to talk to folks from Valley Township and Dexter Township when coming up with this recommendation. Valley Township in particular had a really excellent education system to get residents who may be hesitant about the new system on board, and a really great system to help transition the city to the single hauler system. Additionally, Dexter Township, which is currently in the process right now of moving to a single hauler system, had a really excellent resident survey to capture the needs of its residents and to build a really robust RFP that really worked with what the community wanted. The second recommendation for Fennville is a shared downtown system. Ultimately, this would provide an aesthetically enhanced environment, reduce nuisances like smells and unsightly trash cans. The case studies I looked at for this, I talked to people from the city of Allegan, the city of Dexter, and Ferndale. From these, I saw a lot of great implementation ideas like tiered fee systems, developing a strong management and educational systems to help current and new businesses get on board with the system, And in cities like Allegan, almost all participating businesses saw cost savings with the new system. So that's something really great as a outcome. For my third recommendation, ultimately, these recommendations I just mentioned can be tricky for small municipalities or those with low population densities to implement. Private haulers aren't going to jump on offering them a great contract if it's not a great deal for the private hauler. So with that, the most significant recommendation I have for Fennville would be the development of an interlocal agreement to share services across municipal borders. Such a collaboration would help these communities maximize their share weight in Western Michigan's material management market. We actually did, during the 10 weeks, get a jump start on implementation. On July 17th, our team hosted a proposal presentation to these 6 wonderful communities here, just to talk about some of the benefits of such a plan and think about next steps. A summary of that meeting, I would say there's no naysayers, so that's a great first step. And they will be continuing to meet after this program ends to think about implementation and how to incorporate the needs of all 6 municipalities into that agreement. Turning to my shareable deliverable, I wanted to compile all of the really excellent knowledge I learned over these 10 weeks. And so the resulting product of that was a materials management guide designed mostly for smaller municipalities that walks through the recommendations I learned from anecdotal evidence and research across solid waste, recycling, and organic systems and services. It also details implementation considerations for those recommendations, logistics, and regulatory requirements, and includes, again, details about case studies and example documents that can help people get a new system up and running. This is kind of an example of how you would walk through the document. You would get started with what do you really want to focus on, solid waste, recycling, or organics. And then you'd be able to explore recommendations within those categories. And then click on a link and it'll get you to considerations for implementation with the overview of case studies, and then it'll take you to the appendix with all the relevant documents. You'll notice if you do end up taking a gander at this document that there's a lot of common themes across services, and that's really because a lot of my research and conversations with people really did have a narrow focus on examples of systems that would really benefit Fennville specifically. And so the biggest takeaways out of all of those would be offering comprehensive community education, engagement and support, implementing data-driven operations. You can't change what you don't measure. Providing convenient collection and drop-off options with simple processes. And then finally, the biggest one, maximizing economies of scale where possible and exploring regional partnerships. And that's it.